guess the lights probably in here is probably about as bright as Phoenix's win tonight. What were your thoughts on the game?
Look, I'd say happy is not a word. It's just probably more satisfied. We've had a really rough maybe 6-7 weeks, and the fact that we could come away from home, good opponent. They beat us last time at home, and we just we dug in. Half time we were 1-0 down, and just half time just reassured them that there was enough opportunity to capitalise in some areas, and gave the old famous if we get one, I think we can get two. So I was very happy.
Ashiga's assist, how exciting was that to see from distance and then actually see it pull off to level?
Yeah, to be fair, the player ran in front of me, so I couldn't tell the technique, and I don't watch the replays, so I was just stoked we scored, especially off a throw-in. It was quick throw-in, good initiative, and the disappointing part, I think, in that game was, I think even first half, we had a lot of good opportunities to progress the ball, and either been a little bit too direct or just weren't finding the pocket well and exploiting them. And I thought we could have hurt them a little bit earlier, but again, when confidence is, at a minimum, we'll take that.
Leading up from the back tonight was Kelly Hill. That's got to be a confidence-inspiring performance, not just for him, but for the rest of the side. Obviously, let one in early, but made a lot of crucial saves.
I thought Albie was very good. I think even on the goal that he conceded, I thought maybe a little bit unfortunate not to save it. I think he saw that a little bit late, but again, he was very solid. And again with his feet, didn't panic. It was very positive, and it releases a lot of pressure on us, especially being confident with the ball. I think maybe the last 10 minutes where we're playing more the result than we are the performance. Where maybe you could have got him a little bit more on the ball because he was confident enough to do that. But yeah, look, he played like an experienced keeper today, so I was stoked.
Costa becomes the first Kiwi player to score 100 goals in ALeague win. Sort of bit of a resurgence he's had under you since coming to the Knicks the last year and a half.
Well, I think I make no. I don't hide it. Last year I built around him. We had a bit of player movement early in the season when Oz got injured, and then when I put him into the 9, it just gave us a different dimension. And I thought last year BK and Oldie and Bally, they had a nice combination, and this season we try to do the same, just with a different sort of dynamic and partnership. And I think we found it a little bit harder to create, also because teams are putting a lot of focus on Costa. They're double teaming him or man marking one and a second defender's covering, so it's finding it harder to make those chances. And but again, for me, the most important thing is getting the ball to him so he can can capitalise, and I think we'll get there. It's just going to take a little bit more time, especially with cohesion within the group, but this goes a long way. But I'm very, very proud that he's got the 100 goals.
You mentioned it's been a tough few weeks for your side. A lot of injuries, a lot of departures, like Ben Haddam, David Ball, Alte. Just transfer window's open. Are you hoping to do anything in the window over the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, so the intention is still to bring some players in. My focus is on a number 10. And then we'd probably look to strengthen the squad. It's just more about have to assess the injury list as well, and yeah, there's a lot of things at play. So I don't want to rush into bringing someone in. Again, I'm really focused on bringing someone that's going to add to what we have. I think the big issue we have at the moment, and it's probably been evident maybe the last 2 months, is that once we started losing our starters or guys that we plan to start with, the next guys that have come in, it's taken a little bit longer for whatever reason. It's been a little bit clunky. But again, winning games like that, even the last game against Sydney, taking the draw, starting to turn, we're starting to believe, and it's a slow ship to turn around, but we're getting there.
Are you expecting any of those recruitments to be visa signings?
Potentially, so we have one visa spot, so definitely one spot, and potentially one local player. But we'll see. Again, I'm not in a rush at the moment.
And then just lastly from me, you've got a lot of academy players coming through with the injury list as well as scholarship players. What have you just sort of made of their sort of performance performances over the last few weeks as they've been thrown into the deep end, essentially?
Yeah, I'm extremely satisfied with how they're going. Are they the end product at the moment that I need? I think they're far from it, and I think, the way I envisage development is more incremental. You have some senior players, established players, you have some middle range players that are in that, players about to break through, and then you have your young players, And if you look at players like Oldie, Finn Sermon, Alex Paulson last year, all those boys that kicked on, they were 3-4 years already in the team. It wasn't like an overnight thing. So I still stick by that. But now that the fact that now we're having a chunk of boys playing and they don't have that experience, leaves a little bit of vulnerability in terms of consistency and performance and so on. So I have to juggle that, and then I also have to maybe change my messaging, change the way we play, in order to suit for that. But again, the good thing is we've had a rough 2 months. Those boys would learn so much from the experience of going through what we're going through. I'm learning as well. That's a reality. I think they'll be better for it. I just don't want to raise the expectations. I think, again, it's about measuring, their progress, exposing them, bringing them back in and so on.
Just quickly, midway through the season, you're in 10th spot, and it doesn't look good if you're looking at it on paper, but how do you rate the first half of the year? And then the second half to that question is, do you find the next month, considering 2 of those games are at home and your next 3 games are winnable games, how do you attack that? Because it feels like the next 3 weeks are going to be critical for your chances into the final 6.
I'm not looking that far, to be fair. Even at the beginning of the season, I knew that we would have, sorry guys, I'm just listening to the guys singing, so it's just distracting me. I think even the beginning of the season, I was very measured on where we sat and like where we're going to end up. I felt as though, we were very disjointed in pre-season. We had the New Zealand boys who were away with the the Nations Cup and the Olympics and so on. We're a little bit all over the shop, so we found it very difficult to get just the starting players on the park and performing. So I was a little bit hesitant on where we could progress. If I had all those players, I would have said to you, our target straight away is, top 3, top 4, whatever it is. But it's been more about measuring and getting those boys to consistently perform the way we want. We've had a rough trot of late, and my focus now has just become essentially game by game, half by half, and wherever we fall, we fall. But again, we win a couple of more games, we're back in contention, but I don't want us to lose sight of what the outcome is. It's more about the process and how we play and staying true to that. And I'm not going to sit here and say that, we're in an ability now to win every game, because I'm a realist. I think that we are going to work to that. It's going to need a little bit more time than what we originally thought.
Interesting, you were speaking before that you've learned so much from this season, the way things have transpired, and you mentioned before about not having those New Zealand players there for pre-season prep. In a roundabout way, has that sort of helped you in terms of the experience of what you need to do in the future when it comes to the international period being before pre-season, and how you attack that going forward in your future as a coach?
Yeah, definitely. So if I compare last season to this season, last season was more about, I don't think I had a player away. I didn't have any players in New Zealand contention. I think I had Payne, maybe. Costa was, in and out. I didn't have him away for extended periods. So I had a beautiful pre-season where I had 3 months of just doing the things that I wanted to do, build on the principles. We also had a team that already played together all year because I didn't bring that many players in. We already had cohesion, so it was easy to hit the ground running. Whereas this season I've had, up until the first game of the season, I had one half of football with the starting 11 that I wanted. I think we had maybe available, 2 weeks of training out of the 3 months. For whatever reason, Olympics, Nations Cup, call-ups, the imports coming late into the squad, getting visas late. So we're very, very fragmented. So what I learnt is that when you have that much change, then you have to actually probably simplify your messaging and the way you play. You probably can't develop the system the way you want and, as quick. And then sometimes you've got to realise when these younger boys come in, maybe you just have to make it easy for them, you know. So I've learnt a lot, especially last 6 weeks. I've learned a lot about players, you know, my staff, and just, you know, how we move forward. But again, hopefully we all become a lot better for it at the end of it. Yes.
So yeah, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
I think the boys in the change room just answered my question, but I'm
Yeah.
just gonna point out last week you kept Sydney FC 2-0.
Yeah.
Tonight you kept a very strong Macarthur attack
Yeah.
to 1 goal. Your goalkeeping performance was brilliant, but so was your defence.
Yeah.
So do you think this is going to really give them a confidence boost? Could this spell the next stint for the second half of the season for your guys now with that two really good results in the last 2 weeks? They sound very happy from here. Is this a confidence boost? Is this a new direction for the rest of the season?
I think it's more, I think it reinforces that, what we're doing at the moment, is going in the right direction. But, previous answer, again, I'm not looking too far ahead. I want to build confidence in the squad, which I think we had an abundance at the early part of the season, which is probably, again, I'll keep saying it, probably the cohesion we didn't have. But this goes a long way to building that. Last week I was actually really happy against City FC. I thought formidable opponent. They have a huge turnaround of games, but again, a quality team. And even Adelaide, I think for a large part, with the number of players that were out, I thought we're going in the right direction. And for whatever reason, we didn't pick up a point there, or which we merited. And Adelaide are a good team, but again, small steps, not big steps. I don't want to jump way too far. We win the next game, we win the game after. It's no problem. It doesn't mean that we're going to win the competition. It just means that we're moving in the right direction.